According to Major General Scott Clancy, the United States airspace is being tested for weakness. The U.S. military and Biden seem to be reacting in a weak manner, according to the media. The Pentagon and the media openly say these last couple objects that have been shot down could be UFO related. Their words, not mine. And Putin pummels Ukraine as Zelenskyy begs for help from NATO. And there's some kind of strange cover-up going on in Ohio after a train derailed and there was a chemical explosion, but journalists are being arrested for trying to cover the story. So there's some kind of scandal or cover-up going on. Thank you so much for liking and sharing these videos. There's a lot to go through today, so stick with me to the very end, where I'll also tell you about a $10,000 cash giveaway that Casey and I are doing thanks to generous video sponsors. Now, out of nowhere, President Biden has announced that he is ordering the release of 26 million additional barrels of oil from our strategic petroleum reserve. It's not clear where this oil will be sold or sent to. Is it staying local to help lower the price of rising gas at the pump? Is it being sold to Europe to help them with their energy crisis? Or is it being sold to China like it was last time, even as they spy on American citizens? We don't really know. All we know is that they've decided to suddenly deplete an already depleted reservoir. Now, over the weekend, more unidentified aerial objects were shot down by the U.S. military. A total of 4 have been shot down in a week. Now, there's a lot of speculation that this is foreign governments conducting spy missions despite warnings from the Pentagon and the White House. What is likely happening, according to former Major General Scott Clancy, after these balloons have been spotted, Clancy stated that the military closed intelligence gaps in our airspace that were not previously covered. In basic terms, we are likely just becoming more aware of objects that have been spying on the United States previously undetected. Clancy built upon this idea by stating, "I think you're also seeing the confluence of distinctive activities by our adversaries to test our systems. So not only are we being spied on, but our systems are being mocked and then tested for weakness." Now, this is not a good look, especially from the most funded military in the world, but he says it looks like they're looking for weaknesses, especially in the sitting president. Now, China has been pretty embarrassed throughout this whole situation because they've been caught in lie after lie after lie. Now, the first lie was proven false. Then China attempted to lie again about spying on Americans and accused the United States. Now, China is saying, well, we know that the United States has at least 10 balloons floating over Beijing last year. But the national security spokesperson, Adrian Watson, stated, any claims that the U.S. government operates surveillance balloons over the People's Republic of China is false. It is China that has a high-altitude surveillance balloon program for intelligence collection, and that it has used this to violate the sovereignty of the United States and over 40 countries over 5 different continents. Now, here's where the whole unidentified flying objects gets kind of suspicious. The government is refusing to disclose what these objects are that they shot down. We were told the one over Alaska is long and cylindrical and bigger than a vehicle and gray. The second one we're being told is octagonal, meaning it's got 8 sides to it. It looks like a stop sign. And now the Pentagon and the media are openly calling these UFOs. So, are we under attack from something outside of our planet? One general from the Pentagon suggested that this could be an alien invasion. Now, he didn't clarify whether that means alien meaning other countries or if he means alien meaning other planets. But a lot of internet is starting to get a little bit nervous about why they're covering this story up while at the same time using language like UFOs, aliens, out of this world attacks, things like that. Now, second, if the government is dragging UFOs into the news, it's usually a distraction for the world and the American people to cover up a big story or a story that hurts people in Hollywood or in government. Some are saying that perhaps the blacklist from Jeffrey Epstein is about to be released. Others say this is a cover-up as the government starts to investigate the president and his son, Hunter Biden. But let me know in the comments down below, what do you think is really going on? Because these are big stories in the media right now. Now, despite their previous issues, Trump has continued to defend his former vice president, Mike Pence, and is saying, Mike is a good guy, leave him alone. You need to drop these subpoenas against the former vice president. Trump's legal team has even announced that it will challenge the subpoena of Mike Pence on grounds of executive privilege. Even with their differing views on the legitimacy of the 2020 election outcome, Trump recently called Pence an honorable man on an interview on Fox News. Both former leaders are currently being investigated regarding their possession of classified documents, as well as the sitting president, Joe Biden, for his handling of classified documents in 4 different locations. The war between Ukraine and Russia may escalate soon as the U.S. Embassy in Moscow has issued a stark warning telling all American citizens to get out of Russia immediately. While Americans were discouraged from traveling to Russia, they were also discouraged from remaining in Russia. The statement reads, Russia may refuse to acknowledge dual national U.S. citizenship, deny their access to U.S. consular assistance, and they may conscript you into their military. So basically, even if you're a national citizen over in Russia, they may force you to join the Russian military or be killed and go fight Ukraine, even if you're not a Russian citizen. So in simple terms, basically, you could be drafted into the Russian military and all of the danger and pressure that comes along with that. Now, Russia has taken some of its highest casualties in this war in the last few days. However, the Russian Federation army under the command of Putin has pummeled the Bakhmut region of Ukraine in one of the largest missile attacks to date. Zelenskyy says these offenses will only worsen as Putin gets closer to the 1-year anniversary of his invasion on the 24th of February. The stock market is green today, with all major indexes being positive. Gold and silver were slightly down for the day, and Bitcoin and Ethereum were down, and they've been down about 10% from their previous comeback high. The IRS announced that it is ahead of schedule on tax returns for 2022 taxes. So, although you might get back less, you might get it back faster, the IRS says. Analysts are saying we could see a rise in the stock market in the next few weeks as companies begin to buy back their own stock shares before a new buyback tax is rolled out by President Biden and the White House. To raise revenues, the White House wants to tax businesses for buying back their own stocks. They believe that this will help discourage businesses from buying back stocks so that they will focus on growing their business, which means hiring for their business, which would mean choosing the business and employees over choosing shareholders of the stock. Now, this is going to get really crazy. This could actually bankrupt the Biden family. The FTX case continues to get more serious as lawyers of FTX are threatening all the politicians who received donations from former CEO Sam Bankman-Fried. The lawyers are requesting that these politicians who received stolen money donations to fund their campaigns be returned. These campaign donations be returned. Here's what the statement read. To the extent such payments are not returned voluntarily, the FTX debtors reserve the right to commence actions before the bankruptcy court to require the return of such payments. with interest accruing from the day any action is commenced. President Joe Biden's campaign was paid over $10 million of stolen money, for which the president and his campaign could be personally liable. Now, by the way, I knew that these people were going to be forced to return these stolen dollars. And some of them tried to look good in the press by donating this money to charity. Now they will be forced to pay this money back, and we're going to see whether they now go after the charities that they donated and say, give me back that money because I've got to give it back to someone else, right? So they tried to make themselves look good. Now they're going to look like idiots, and they may have to sue these charities in order to get this money back, in order to appease the bankruptcy court. Some are saying this could leave the Biden family completely bankrupt, as the president doesn't have a net worth of $10 million without the help of his son Hunter's business dealings. Now, something's going on. Ohio is dealing with one of the worst chemical and pollution disasters ever, next to the United States blowing up the Nord Stream pipeline. The story goes like this. A train was derailed in Ohio. It exploded, dangerous chemicals all over the place. Half of the town was evacuated. Now, journalists are trying to dig in and discover what's really going on, and they're being told and threatened, do not cover this story. Some of them have been arrested for trying to cover this story. So basically, they say it's a safety thing for these journalists, but these journalists are saying, what's the real story? What is the government trying to avoid us learning? What are they trying to cover up? I don't have an answer for you, but that was what was in the news today. Now, before you go, do take 10 to 20 seconds to go get your name entered to be one of the $10,000 winners of the $10,000 that Casey and I are giving away thanks to generous video sponsors. We're so excited to be able to bless 10 people that watch our YouTube videos. So make sure to go get your name entered. Now, before you go, I want to remind you that you are amazing. I appreciate you stopping by today. Make sure to check out this super important video and get subscribed to the channel. Hey, thank you so much, and I'll see you on the next video.